everybody, and welcome back to another episode of From the Fourth Line. I am one of two hosts. I was gonna say many. I was like, there's two of us. And I am joined, as always, by my wonderful co-host Marcie.
Here I am. I'm back again.
So I feel like we shouldn't spend too long on the intro because we have a lot to talk about with the Leafs and hockey in general. So I think we're gonna hop in right into our talk about the Leafs because they played 2 games back-to-back Friday, Saturday on the road, and they went about as badly as we could expect them to, considering it was against Chicago and Pittsburgh. So, you know what? We'll start with Friday's game against Pittsburgh. It was a 2:00 game. It was an afternoon game. And my notes start out so positive for this game and eventually just fall apart like the game did. Like, it got out of control really quickly by the third. Just with the officiating, there was multiple line brawls. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So the fourth line, Reeves was back in the lineup. Yeah, he played for the first time since, it was the first time in multiple games, which left Benoit, McMahon, and Steves getting healthy scratch because Connor Timmins was back in the lineup. We love to see that. He was matched up with Lagesson on the third D pair. But yeah, so that left our fourth line of Camp, Gregor, and Reeves. I noted them specifically just because, again, name of the podcast, but also because that was the only line that saw any change from Sweden. So I noticed this, and that was Reeves was getting pushed around in the first period.
Yeah.
He wasn't laying hits. People were laying hits against him, and he if you're Ryan Reeves, which I don't have his height and weight stats up here, but he's what, 6'4"? I think he's tall, right? 6'4"?
Yeah, he's big.
6'4", 200 I want to say easily 225 pounds. And you're getting pushed around by people who are smaller than you. Come on, get your shit together. He looked lost. There was a couple plays where that fourth line was on, and it looked like he didn't know where he was. And it was just it was frustrating to watch because of just how well that fourth line worked in Sweden with McMahon there. But then Nicky Bobby goal. 5 minutes
Absolute
in.
Highlight.
Loving Nick Robertson right now. Loving the way he's playing. Loving that third line. Wow, that third I've noted this multiple times in the whole weekend, but that third line has been looking fantastic all weekend, all season long, essentially, since it's been Järnkrok, Domi, and Robertson. And then who Dickinson scores for Chicago. Samsonov should have had that one.
Yeah.
He should
only been able to watch the highlights because I missed that game because
it was a Friday night for you.
Yeah. It was Friday night. And it was an early game as well. So it's not even
Yeah, no, it wasn't late night for you. It was 7 p.m. for you. Yeah.
But from what I saw, it wasn't the best.
No.
Really.
The first period was good. I'll say it but just you're playing against Chicago who's without Corey Perry. And without a Taylor Hall, because Taylor Hall is injured now out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
This should be a team that you're winning against. Or at least for the most part dominating. And the top, we're going to talk about the top line after we do some game recaps, just because there's a lot to get through with that top line. It's not working. And the fact that your third line is looking better is maybe on a night by night average is your best looking line is an issue. But yeah, so then Leafs take another too many men penalty. That's 7th on the season, by the way, in case you were keeping track of how many times the Leafs do not know how to count to 5. And then Kelly Yarncrow, 2-1. It's my pass from TJ Brody. And I know a lot of people have been complaining about TJ Brody because he's a defenseman who, like, when you don't notice TJ Brody, it means he's playing his game well and he's playing good hockey, because that's just how he thrives as a defenseman you don't notice, which is like the case for most defensemen. I feel like if you notice a defenseman for a negative reason, that means they're really bad.
Yeah.
But that was a beautiful pass. Like, go watch the replay on that goal if you haven't seen it. It's gorgeous. And then I know we just were talking about Ryan Reeves, but Ryan Reeves ties it up. Not ties it up. It gives the Leafs a 3-1 lead. Are a nightmare for Leafs fans, but puts him on his board, and that's his first goal as a Leaf. So good for you, Ryan. Like, way to go. There's a couple of good looks by Nylander, and then Dickinson scores his second of the night to make it 3-2, which is fine. That's fine. And then Dickinson gets a hat trick to make it tied 3-3. For those who are wondering where he's from, because the Leafs it was 2 games of narratives, obviously. He's from Georgetown, Ontario, which is just outside of Toronto, about 45 minutes. 45 minutes from downtown. If you go straight up Highway 401. So in case you were wondering, yes, he is from Southern Ontario. And then, I just have I have a note that's just saying the girls are fighting in all caps, because they did. That third period sort of very quickly fell apart. There was a couple of scrums. There was that one time where Lagesson was essentially on top of a guy, like straddling him. I was like, okay, buddy.
What can you say?
Yeah, there was also a questionable call on Gregor. He got a roughing call, which I don't know if I fully believe with having that being a roughing call if you're not going to call the unsportsmanlike conduct on. I don't remember what Blackhawk it was, but a Blackhawk player shot a puck into the Leafs net after the whistle. Gregor went after him. Gregor ends up with the roughing penalty, which I don't fully agree with. I'm like, yeah, okay, but if you're going to give Gregor the roughing penalty, you got to give the penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct going the other way. But then the game goes into overtime. And and my stress level hits an all-time peak. Nylander had this chance that, oh my god, it goes post, bar, post, and out, and misses the overtime win. You can take that shot 100 times and you're never gonna get that same outcome again. Exact same shot, exact same spot. Absolute unlucky. And then there's a really fluky goal by Korchinski to make it to Kevin Korchinski, fucking 18-year-old kid. No, I think he's 19 actually, but to make it 4-3 in overtime. That ends the Leafs win streak at 4, and it also ends Nylander's point streak at 17.
Rest in peace.
So I feel it was a good run for sure. It was really, really impressive. He was playing some really damn good hockey. Unfortunately, loses it. And then we have some news that happened between Friday's game and Saturday's game, which I feel like we can talk about as well. Fraser Mitten traded from the Kamloops Blazers to Saskatoon Blades. Obviously, Fraser Mitten of Chaos rookie status for the Leafs. Was drafted last year by them and had a really good camp, and that earned him a couple regular season games in the lineup with the Leafs, and then he was sent back to the WHL after spending some time living in John Tavares' basement with Matthew Nyes. So
he's collecting children.
So yeah, he's collecting children. A lot of again, this does not affect Fraser Mitten's status with the Leafs. He's still a Leafs prospect. Doesn't change anything on that front. But it does mean that he, has a chance to play for a better team. The Kamloops Blazers weren't great this season. So it allows him to maybe score some better goals, play some better hockey with better teammates, and to have a chance to go for the Mem Cup, which, good for him. He deserves it.
He does.
Let's talk Saturday's game, though. against Pittsburgh. So there's a couple, like we said last episode, there's a couple of ongoing narratives going into this game, and this game this was just a whole lot of narratives for the Leafs. First of all, great job by Mike Sullivan and Sheldon Keefe to have the Nylanders start against each other in the game, which I thought was sweet. You know, that's always fun. I just love brothers in the NHL, so. Yeah, there was I also have a couple of missed calls notes as well, just overall throughout the entire game that I noticed. There was a high stick early that got missed on McCabe, and then closer near the end of the game, there was a holding on John Tavares in front of the Pittsburgh net that just went uncalled. I was like, what are you, like, literally it was full body tackle. So, but yeah, so we'll start it, then we'll talk about the actual game as well, though. Tyler Bertuzzi opens up the scoring. That's 5 points in 5 games for him. Good for him.
He's doing great at the moment, I think. He's having a solid run.
Oh, yeah. Solid season. But then 28 seconds later, in true Leafs fashion, Jake Guentzel goes back the other way to get behind the Leafs D to score a goal to tie it up 1-1. There was no shot for Joseph Woll to get that one. Like,
no.
Jake Guentzel had a wide open net, and it's like how he was able to get that pass behind. Like, literally, he was behind the Leafs. Anyways, Leafs defense, ongoing story for us to talk about. But then I have Matthew fucking Knies, man, to put the Leafs ahead. Literally, the only part I have here in my notes as well. Only part of that first line that's clicking. He's like the only, like, in past few games, he's the only part of that top line that's looked good. And then I also have Pens get a 5-on-3. I made note of that. Leafs did actually not a bad job of killing that off for the most part. But yeah, Marner and Matthews have been lacking recently. They just haven't looked themselves. Like, yeah, okay, there's still glimpses of them scoring and things like that, but spoiler alert, this is their 6th game this season where both of them have been held without a point. That's an issue. It's
not great.
That's not what you want from guys who are making this season a combined, what is it, like over $20 million or something like that, right? Like, they're
like, I'm not gonna lie, I've started to forget that they're there.
Which is what you don't want when you've got Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner, to forget that they're on the top line.
Very expensive, just there players.
Yes, absolutely.
That shouldn't be happening.
Also then a note as well on that Tyler Bertuzzi goal, though, because I've just realized I have this noted down. John Tavares picks up an assist on that goal, which is .995, and because Steve Dangle hates us, this was something that he tweeted out. It means he moves into to tie for 98th on the all-time list, tying him with none other than former Leaf and current Pens assistant GM Jason Spezza.
That just had to happen.
He had to tweet that out, really. I was like, that's nice. Thank you for that. And then, of course, because again, the narratives don't stop.
Nope.
Noel Acciari with the revenge goal to make it 2-2. It was a good goal. I'll give him that. Miss Cookie, miss him.
I want him back. I love when we both have the same thing written down as well. I just put Acciari revenge goal.
Yeah. Yeah. I know wasn't only with us. It was like. Yeah, no, he wasn't even with us that long either. Like, he was a pickup at the Ryan Reeves. He was in the Ryan Reeves trade. Right. So that was February. I was on vacation when that trade happened. That was a wild time for me to be on vacation. Yeah. And then the next bullet point, literally, this is just how, like, nothingness the rest of this game was, honestly, is my next bullet point is the Karlsson goal off the draw. 3-2.
Yeah. It's not brilliant.
Yeah, and then I literally have nothing else about the actual game because the Leafs did absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, To note as well for this Pittsburgh game as well, Leafs ran an 11-7 lineup, so that was no Reeves or Steves in the lineup. So yeah, Wool played great though. If you're wondering, because we're going to talk about Joseph Wool, he played great. He kept the Leafs in the game. Like, yes, okay, he allowed 3 goals. 2 of them I'd say he didn't have a shot on. Maybe the Achari goal, maybe he would have had a shot, but like there was no chance. But he kept them in the game. He kept them in the game. He kept the Penguins from scoring the next one. So this could have very easily turned into a 5-2 win for Pittsburgh instead of it was 3-2, which is closer, right? So it made it like the Leafs potentially, if they didn't do nothing for the rest of the last like 15 minutes of the third period or whatever it was, they could have had a chance to come back and win. But, you know, he kept them in the game. It was a solid performance by him. I think he's looking good. I think he's looking solid in net. Love him. Keep up the good work, Joseph.
Literally, I had in my drafts, I was like, I'd already got my little, I don't care what the score was, he still smashed it tweet. I was ready. I had it ready. I had it prepared.
Going into a game versus, your former GM, former player, and former assistant to the GM. You're going to, and of course, brother of it's not going to be a fun game to watch. There's going to be too many narratives. And then of course I also have a couple of notes on here on just players that I noticed between those 2 Leafs games that were wearing neck protection. So in Chicago, I noticed on Chicago, Joey Anderson, former Leaf, and was wearing neck protection. Tyler Bertuzzi was also wearing neck protection as well. And he said that he's going to continue to wear it. That's cool. Bertuzzi was also wearing it against Pittsburgh. Benoit and Jeff Carter, so Benoit in Toronto, Jeff Carter in Pittsburgh were both in net protection as well on Saturday. And then today in practice, which we're going to talk about practice, Nick Robertson was in net protection at practice on today. So maybe we'll see him on Tuesday. So that's what's next for the Leafs game-wise before our next podcast on Thursday is the Leafs take on the Panthers at home on Tuesday.
Oh, I can't wait.
Great.
I feel like it's going to be another game where I need an entire bottle of wine to get me through it.
Honestly, that's what I was feeling watching this one as well. So, yeah, we'll talk about our concern with the top line, though. Marner and Matthews not looking great. And Sheldon Keefe took to address this as today in practice, he split them up. So it's now now Nylander's on the top line with Knies and Matthews in that right wing slot, and then Marner is back on the second line with Bertuzzi and Tavares. So hopefully maybe that will get them scoring. Maybe. Who knows? It'll be interesting to see how that rolls out tomorrow on Tuesday. And then also we have some Klingberg news as well. In the broadcast on Saturday, Elliot Friedman did say that we'd find out more this week about Klingberg, and we did via a press conference that Treliving gave today after practice. There was no live stream for it, so we just have to trust Leafs beat reporters and insiders that he said this because there's no video proof. So, Klingberg Treliving said that Klingberg got injured October 19th. Versus Florida, of course, right? But that doesn't mean that he didn't start the season injured. It was something that occurred during a game. And that Klingberg will be seeing a specialist in New York City this week to decide whether surgery is an option in the coming days. So yeah, it's unfortunate that he's hurt. Surgery will definitely take him out for the long term, maybe even for like that'll be it for his career, unfortunately. And then some other news from practice as well. I feel like we're bouncing all over the place. But Bobby McMahon was an extra grays, Reeves in bottom 6 white. So probably that will be safe to assume Reeves will be starting on Tuesday on the 4th line, and Bobby McMahon will be a healthy scratch. And then Steves has been sent back to the AHL. So it's after we spent time last episode hyping this guy up. We were like, oh, Alex Steves is a great call up for the Leafs. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna. I know what's happening.
they send him back down. I don't know why you wouldn't have tried to use him just to see, like, give him a game, but
Yeah, like there's
whatever you
very
think
clearly
works.
something not working. There's very clearly a problem. And maybe like shuffling things around a bit, you know? Bringing in McMahon and Steves. Maybe, just maybe, might, you know, sort them out a bit. But no.
Yeah.
No.
But I guess that's a problem when there's issues with your top line, is it's hard to, you know, bring guys, you know, when you only have call-ups to work with in terms of, you know, shuffling around your lineup and adding some variation in there. It's hard to breach that between, you know, your top and your bottom six in your forwards, that, you know, if you bring up Steve's, like, he can only really mess around in that bottom line and shuffle things around that way. But those two lines have been working, so you don't really want to mess with that. I guess if you're Sheldon Keefe, and trying to find variations in your top six is difficult, but it'll be interesting to see how Nyes plays with Nylander. I don't think he's played with Nylander that often.
No,
it hasn't been this season because Nyes went from third to first line, right? So it'll be interesting to see how that works. I honestly, with the way that those two have been playing recently, it'll be really fun to watch. I feel like we have the potential to get some really fun hockey out of those two, with Matthews there as well. So it'll be something to look forward to with Tuesday's game. Keefe said there was no news about who would be starting Tuesday's game. We'll see. I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to throw Wool in there, just because of the fact that, like, they last played Saturday, so they had 2 days off.
Yeah. I think if you're gonna start someone, you've got to go for your current strongest option.
Yeah, especially with where the Leafs look in the standings. Like, they are 5th in the Atlantic right now. They're below Boston, Panthers, Detroit, and Tampa Bay Lightning.
Revenge.
Justin Hall.
You said you don't want me, fine.
If these are the way that, like, if Justin Hall makes the playoffs and the Leafs don't, Leafs Twitter will be in flames. If
Justin Hall makes it past the first round and the Leafs don't, what happens then?
We become a Detroit Red Wings podcast.
Yeah, it's over. No, because it is miserable at the moment, because my dad has, through me, he's started following hockey more because I've been dragging him to Manchester games, and he has been like the NHL teams and who he wants to follow, and I was like, well, you should take after me, go for the Leafs, and then we were at dinner one day, and he randomly just threw out, what if I become a Rangers fan? I threatened. Threats were made.
Okay.
I'm not having a Rangers fan for a dad.
You know what? It's a good time to be a Rangers fan. We're not going to talk about the Rangers fans too much, because we will talk about them a little bit later, and we don't want to talk about their success too much because we cursed every team we mentioned last episode. So,
and I tell you what, it gets worse. Because after my threats towards him for being a Rangers fan, it was like, fine, okay, I won't be a Rangers fan. He's gone for the Jets.
That's arguably worse.
Yeah, I know, because I've got family in Winnipeg, so that's his. He was like, you know, we've got history there, and I'm like, okay, like, that's a fair enough. And then he came to visit me. He popped in on Saturday he came around, and he was like, the Jets are doing well at the moment, and I'm like, yeah, they're, you know, better than usual. And then he goes, yeah, they're above the Leafs.
Oh, okay.
In my own home. In my own home.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, they are, and I can't even be like, well, the Leafs have played less games, because the Leafs haven't even hit game 20 Tuesday is game 20 of the season.
Mm.
Let that, like, you know, that December worry of the Leafs, oh wait, they're out of the playoffs right now and it's the month of December, is going to kick in real quick if they don't start playing better.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna start getting, like, if you know, Brad and Sheldon and those top guys think that Toronto media hasn't been hard enough as it is, give them about 2 more games of not playing well,
and they will be
and
crying.
And it'll get 10 times worse. Like, because you'll be in December. What are you doing out of a playoff spot? And, like, you know, they're back by 2 points right now from the play. Are they? I actually don't know. Yeah, they're back from 2 points in the playoffs right now. It's just not. It's yeah, because then they play Florida tomorrow, Seattle on Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Seattle on Thursday, both at home. So get your shit together. Yeah. But yeah, so enough about the Leafs because I don't want to stress about it anymore. But I guess we can talk about Marc-Andre Fleury's mask and why the NHL is dumb.
Yeah.
So for context, for those who don't know, Marc-Andre has had a helmet, like a goalie mask, especially designed for Indigenous Appreciation Night on November 24th to honor his wife, who is Indigenous, and his children, who also are as well. And then the league was like, no, you can't wear that because of regulations involving, like, I don't even know what the rule is, if it's like, you can't.
No special.
No, but like, they're allowed to have special, because Bobrovsky had a special purple helmet for.
Exactly.
If it's something with the symbolism or something, I was like, this anyway. All I know is that the league is dumb. Yeah. And the league said no. Marc-Andre was going to pay the fine anyways. He was like, if there's a fine against me, I don't care. I'm going to pay it because I want to show my support to my wife and children. Yeah. And then the NHL threatened to place an even bigger, more significant fine against the Wild. And then Marc-Andre Fleury was like, okay, maybe I won't. But it was still going to be auctioned off to raise money for charity. And then Marc-Andre Fleury, like the badass that he is, because we love Marc-Andre Fleury, he wore it anyways during the game and received no punishment from the league, in the same way of a la Travis Dermott when he wore the pride tape on his stick.
Like, surprise.
So for all you players who want to do something, you know, when it comes up to certain teams' pride nights, and there's players out there who want to show their support, you can do whatever the fuck you want, because you can just threaten the league, and the league will be like, I'm not going to fine you, and they won't punish you. So does it fucking matter? Like, I'd be pissed at the league if they did fine players, but I'm even more mad at them for saying you can't do something and threatening a fine, and then when the player actually does something, they just don't, and it shows that they have no backbone, and fuck Gary Bettman.
Like, it was such an interesting little conversation on Twitter, because it's like, how are you gonna be like,
how can you rationalize this from a league's perspective of saying no to something that really isn't bad?
Yeah, it's not like...
And it's a sick helmet. Like, if you haven't seen pictures of it, go look at pictures. It looks great. Also, for those who are wondering what the auction price is up to, it's up for auction, and it's already gone over $15,000 for charity. So,
which is insane.
Like, it's cool.
You see, Gary, this is what happens when you let people do nice things.
Nice things happen for communities who deserve it. Obviously, I believe it's all that money is going to a local Indigenous charity to that, like, the Minnesota region. I'm not exactly sure which Indigenous group it is, because anything south of the 39th parallel when it comes to Indigenous groups, I do not know that much about, because it was not included in my elementary school history education. So,
but yeah, I think it's always interesting to see what the league, like, takes a stand against, because it's like, oh no, you can't have a you can't wear a mask in warm-ups to, honor your wife and children's heritage. No. But we will let an entire organization operate under very racist, problematic logo, and we'll just let them just do whatever they want.
And, get away with essentially covering up sexual assault. And then, oh, look, they've got a first overall draft pick who is like generational talent.
Yeah, let's send a child. Let's send an 18-year-old child into an organization that has not got a very good history with their young players. Brilliant idea. I see no problems with that at all. Like, send another one next year.
Oh my God, yeah. Well, actually, Chicago's not awful. Actually, well, bottom of the division. I take that back. But there's teams worse than them. Those teams are the Sharks.
Oh, it's so funny about the Sharks, though, because my housemates every so often, because I've been giving them updates on the Sharks, just the Sharks, and they'll be like, "How are the Sharks doing?" And I just like, they're not.
Yeah. They're not doing great. They did, however, beat the Canucks, and that's why I'm convinced that every team that we talk about on this show, every team we talked about specifically in last episode, is cursed. Because Canucks lost against the Sharks. Leafs lost twice.
I think this is a sign.
And Sabres lost.
Three episodes in.
So if you guys have a team that you really don't like, you want them, and they're doing really well right now, and you want them to do worse, or you have a team that's doing that and you want them to do even worse,
just let us know.
Send us an email. You can reply to when we tweet out this link to this episode. I think there's even like a Q&A feature on like Spotify that allows you to do this when we post this episode to. There's comment section on YouTube because we post our episodes to YouTube now. That's where we are as well. But yeah, comment, put your team that you want to do badly there, and we can see what we can do for you. We can bring them up on Thursday.
We have a lot of bad luck to share. So,
yeah.
Sharing is caring.
Sharing is caring. It's just I don't understand the National Hockey League. I understand hockey. I don't understand the National Hockey League. There's a difference. No. There's a difference there. Anyways, I'm really glad that he wore the mask anyway, didn't get a fine, and is now raising a buckload of money for charity. So it's also a cool mask. Like we said, go check it out. You could probably find it very easily on the internet. I guess also now we'll talk about Jacob Trouba. So we are going to talk about the Rangers anyways, but we're not going to talk about their recent successes. No, instead we're going to talk about how Jacob Trouba was fined $5,000, which is the maximum that he can be fined under the CBA for a hit to the head on Trent Frederick versus Boston. So Trouba has since come out and said that he said it was accidental. He said he apologized very quickly after the hit, and that it was out of his control. But then he also took some blame onto himself and said that he needs to get better at controlling his stick and his hands in that sort of situation. And that's when you fucking, I know a lot of people hate Jacob Trouba for what he does on the ice, but then you see all the good he does off the ice.
He's a lovely person.
It's like, he's a nice guy off the ice, but he's just a dick to play against. Which is your least favorite type of player, right? Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about Tom Wilson, because apparently he does a lot of really nice stuff as well, but I fucking hate him.
Menace. Absolute menace.
But yeah, so honestly, there's people who are saying it should have been suspension, but if Trouba then very quickly said, and he probably also would have had a hearing for this as well, that's probably part of the reason why it's a fine and not a suspension. Because if you just look at the video out of context, it looks like a cut and dry suspension. Oh, we're gonna get a fun little video and graphic from Department of Player Safety, but obviously
we want our graphics.
I love okay, actually, no, because they changed the graphics this season from what they were last season, and I don't like the graphics anymore.
We want our fun graphics back.
I like last season's graphics way better in the videos from Department of Player Safety. Like the the like black screen, blue text. Oh yeah. Felt like I was
on like Pride Tip and Pride Night extended past that, and like no more gay graphics. You can have the boring straight ones.
Yeah. So I guess I mean I feel like we like there's not much more to say on this. I thought it would just be something notable to bring up because it's the New York Rangers. I don't know. We haven't talked about them much yet. But then also to talk about the New York and the state of New York, there we have a trade to announce.
Woo.
And then we're also going to talk about Buffalo. This is very New York based.
Oh,
I'm like gearing up to talk about Buffalo. So trade between New York Islanders have traded Arnaud Durando, who's a forward left wing, to New Jersey Devils for Tyce Thompson. Durando was drafted 165th in 2017 by the Islanders and has only played in the AHL this season so far in 12 games, has 1 goal and 3 assists. Thompson, on the other hand, was drafted 96th in 2019, has played only in the AHL this season for the Devils. I think I've mixed them up. What teams they played for? Hold on. Anyways, no, I got it. Never mind. For the Devils. Yeah, here we go. 15 games, 0 goals, 5 assists. And fun fact, because in case, you're like Marcie and thought that Tage Thompson was traded, Tyce Thompson is Tage Thompson's brother.
In my defense, I had quite literally just woken up from one of those naps that absolutely bang. I'd just woken up. I picked up my phone after my alarm went off. I opened Twitter, as I do post-nap.
Oh, absolutely.
And then you sent it, and I was still half asleep, and I just went, what the fuck? I had a brief moment of, what have I missed in the, hour I was asleep? But how the fuck?
They are related. They're brothers.
And it's like, why do they have such similar first names? Why would you do that to me?
I don't know, but fun
because
fact.
I can't read.
Fun fact. Tage and Tyce Thompson's dad, Brent Thompson, who played some time in the NHL as well, it was currently an assistant coach with the Anaheim Ducks, used to be the head coach of the New York Islanders AHL affiliate. This is what I discovered when I was looking up their stats, because I was on Elite Prospects, and they have relations and stuff like for certain players to be like, oh, his father is, and I was like, oh, his dad has a Elite Prospects page. I was expecting to see some I don't know, junior A, whatever hockey, because those stats get put up there. But no, it was no. Scroll down, NHL, long NHL career. Good for him. Scroll down a little bit more. It says his coaching experience. I was like, oh, he coached stuff. And then I look at the teams he's coached for. I was like, oh, he coached the Islanders AHL. So I don't think if that trade was because of it, if they were like, oh, the Islanders know of him because they had his dad as their head coach or whatever, but he's not being coached by his dad. His dad is now an assistant coach for the Ducks, but I just thought that was some fun details to throw about, because I don't really know anything about these players besides their stats that I Googled before this episode. This fun fact about Tyce Thompson.
You gotta love a little fun facts.
Oh, absolutely. We do also have some injury updates as well. And then we'll get into Buffalo, and we'll let Marcie have the floor. Nico Hischier returned to the New Jersey Devils lineup versus Buffalo on Saturday after being out since October 27th due to injury. Matthias Samuelsson is also out don't believe we have any updates on that either. Marcie, no, she's shaking her head at me, so I'm gonna take that as a no. Mattias Samuelsson got hurt versus the New Jersey Devils. Same game on Saturday. Adam Fox was a full participant in practice today for the New York Rangers. He's eligible to return Wednesday, so we probably will see him then. He was in a no contact jersey and also in a no contact no contact. He was in a full contact jersey. Also in a full contact jersey as of recently was Thomas Chabot for the Ottawa Senators. And he's been at practices. He needs to miss 2 more games, however, though, to be able to be eligible to return from LTIR. So his eligibility date is December 1st, which would be a game. His first game back would be potentially December 1st versus Columbus Blue Jackets. That's a little fun update. Let's talk about Buffalo. Marcie, the floor is yours.
Oh, God. What?
I have no notes for this, so go ahead. No. This is all you.
They're just... Right. So I have it's my little weekly Sabres rant. Luukkonen was scratched. You know, after a good game. He just went...
I think he played great his last game.
He had a good game. He was scratched. And that brilliant decision, surprise, surprise, resulted in a 7-2 loss. Which...
It was bad.
It was, like, I couldn't even watch it. It was painful. I was just like, I'm just going to sit on Twitter and just get the notifications as it happens. So, Comrie started, which, you know, he's recently come back from 3 weeks off with an injury. I can't even be mean about him because I do love him. But the fact that, like, fair enough if you don't want to start Luukkonen, but at least have him on the bench. Like, at least have him there because when it hit 4-0, Comrie was pulled and Devon Levi went in. And it just went downhill even further. And it's just, again, I'm going to bring up, send Levi to the NHL.
We say this every week. So
I mean, I saw there was someone on Twitter and they were like, why are you, like, being so harsh on Levi? Like,
I think I saw the exact same tweet.
I think we're thinking of the same person, but I don't want to, like, name drop because that'd be mean. But they were like, they replied to someone's tweet and they're like, why are you, like, coming for Levi? Why are you being so horrible to him? Like, why are you saying his shit? And it's like, no one's saying his shit. We're saying that he's not ready, and that's not a bad thing. Sending him down is not a punishment. It's for his development to make him a better goalie. So, surprise, surprise, help him when he plays in the NHL. It's like...
It's such a wild, like, player development. It's the same thing where, like, every, like, couple weeks, there's a new, like, online discourse around children, and people forget how child development works. This is the same thing that happens almost on a daily basis. Now, at this point, at this part of the season, when it comes to player development in the NHL.
Yeah, because
they're both children. It both happens differently. And yes, young goalies are going to make young goalie mistakes. And the only way for them to learn that without it being at such a high profile level is going to be allowing them to make those mistakes in an environment like the AHL where they are not, getting, awful, trashy newspaper headlines written about them.
Yeah, because it's like, it really annoys me because it's like the fact that you're going to, like, if you're going to start Eric Comrie, that's fine. Do what you want. No,
that's fine. Give him a chance to come back from injury because you can't just not stop him after he's been away from injury. Yeah, like, he has to have a first game back.
You can't come back and you're not immediately going to be back on top of your game. It's going to take time. Like, I can't say anything bad about him because he is trying. He's doing his best and he's coming back from an injury. You're not going to play your best game ever first time back, like first few games back.
Oh, absolutely not.
But it's like,
no.
If you are gonna start a goalie who has been injured,
looking it on the bench so you can play him.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna start a goalie who's coming back from 3 weeks off, that's a long time to not.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You lose the timing for sure.
Like, if you are being paid a lot of money to coach a team, to be in charge of a team, you can't. Like, I'm not being funny. I'm making the right decisions for them for free.
We sit here on this podcast that we don't make any money from.
And I'm like,
and we can run the Buffalo Sabres. I don't even know who their head coach is. Who is their head coach? This is not to be.
I can't remember.
No, it's not. I just looked up the Bills and not the Sabres. Hold on. Wrong team. They're also not playing great right now.
No, Buffalo in general is just
Don Granato. We can make a better decision than we can make better coaching decisions than Don Granato.
Yeah, because it's like if you're gonna start,
we can also make better like lineup and just general roster decisions. We can run the team better than Kevin Adams can. That's their general manager.
The whole NHL. Let us run the league. But it's like, if you're gonna start Eric Comrie, put a goalie on the bench who you are confident in, who has got a good history, who's playing well at the moment. It's like, yes, I know he played the game before, but it's like, if he's on the bench, you're not guaranteeing that he's going to play. Don't back up your starting goalie with a goalie who's also having not a great time right now. Because what's that going to do? Nothing good.
No. Sorry, just because I'm looking at Eric Comrie's Wikipedia page because I googled him just to know where he was from. He looks like the most Edmonton man you've ever seen in your entire life. Yeah. He looks like he's from Edmonton. His dad is the founder of The Brick, which is, for those who are not Canadian, because Marcie's looking at me with a very confused face. The Brick is a national furniture chain in Canada.
What?
like a very large national furniture chain here. Like, they have like the big box stores. Like,
why does that make so much sense?
He's also the fraternal half brother of former NHL players Paul and Mike Comrie.
I'm sure I can't get over the fucking like, he in like the best way possible, he looks
like the son of a furniture baron.
He looks like it. And I love that.
It's a rectangular face, isn't it? Did you see he's got like he had that big mustache for the month of for November. He had that mustache, that stupid fucking looking mustache.
Oh, I love a good stupid mustache. Like, he looks like he knows how to assemble furniture without instructions.
Hey, at Buffalo Sabres social team, here's an idea for you to do. Have a couple of your players just build IKEA furniture for science.
No instructions.
With no instructions. Just have it for science. There's a couple, like, I don't know, get Rasmus Dahlin in there. He's Swedish, right?
Oh my god. Yeah.
Who is there any other Swedes on the Buffalo Sabres?
Samuelsson.
Oh yeah. Victor Olofsson. As well.
And then just throw Jeff Skinner.
No, Samuelsson's not. He's from New Jersey. Well, he's not.
No, he's not. But like,
I was gonna say he's from New Jersey.
But he himself is very much not from Sweden. However, his dad is, and I think that gives him some sort of claim to assembling IKEA furniture.
Yeah, his mom's from Pennsylvania though, but he was a part of the U.S. National Team Development Program, and plays for United States at international events. So Not really Swedish.
Not Swedish, but in our hearts.
Sure. Okay. I literally am like looking up. I'm looking at their roster right now, and I was like, that he's from New Jersey.
So when you've watched his Between Two Stalls episode as many times as I have, Jeff Skinner.
Which also want those back as well. Love.
Give us
you said you were
season
going to talk about Jeff Skinner. We can talk about Jeff Skinner as well.
I am right on. I've got. Jeff Skinner scored his 139th goal for the Sabres, which ties him with Jack Eichel for the 19th most goals in Sabres history.
Jack Eichel scored that many goals. That makes it sounds really dumb. I know he scored that many goals, but
but it's like shit.
You don't feel like just because he, like, when you think about how long he was with the Sabres and also how much of his time with the Sabres was kept up by injury. Okay, Jack. No, because it makes me sound that I was like surprised by his performance. I'm well familiar with the lore that surrounds the 2015 entry draft. I've been there. I was in the trenches with that draft.
See, now I'm doubting.
No. You are right. You are right. You are right with that stat. I guess maybe it's just more of a reflection on the Buffalo Sabres than anything else. Yeah. And also that Jack Eichel because Jack Eichel did break a Ovechkin scoring record early on. I do remember that.
Another fun fact about this. Jeff Skinner scored 139 goals in 374 games, and Jack Eichel did it in 375.
I was about to say, Jeff, and these are only his goals. Wait, are these only his goals that he scored for the Sabres, or is this his career goals?
I am violently.
No. Jeff Skinner is older, so it would have been with the Sabres, right?
Yeah, it's in Sabres history, right?
Okay.
I can rely. I'm not spreading false information.
Here we go. Ready for this? Jeff Skinner is a better hockey player than Jack Eichel. Again, that part's gonna get clipped by someone on Twitter, and I'm gonna be flamed, publicly roasted for my statements.
Can't wait for the Twitter guy.
You can tell how far into recording this that we are, that I'm ready to start laying down the most absolutely outrageous opinions on hockey players. But what the stat is telling me is that Jeff Skinner is a better hockey player than Jack Eichel. And Jack Eichel, that means Jeff Skinner deserves a cup more than Jack Eichel.
Give him the cup.
Give him the cup.
Jeff Skinner is gonna tear that cup from Jack Eichel's hands.
His meaty little hands.
Fucking candy from a baby.
He's gonna march his way down to Las Vegas.
And he's just gonna go, bitch,
yank it back. Yank it back. Oh God. Oh, I would. You know what? Someday. Yeah. I'm not. We'll talk after. I was gonna say something. I was like, we can't put that in the episode.
Oh God, I can't wait.
No, it was just something where I was like, I don't want to put that out. It's not as bad, but it's something. Anyways, you'll know what I mean when I tell you later.
Oh God.
Okay. Yeah. No. Do you have anything more to say about the Buffalo Sabres before I totally was like, Jeff? I was gonna do a really terrible rendition of "Breaking Free" from High School Musical, but nobody needs to hear me sing. You can go onto YouTube for that. There's a couple of videos that exist out there.
Ooh.
Yeah, not just me there. It's the elementary school choir. So.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, they exist. One day I'll share them with the world.
You know what? That makes me so glad that my primary school choir that I was in never got recorded.
Mine was on national television.
No. Oh, Emma.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're in the midst of a star.
You guys, there's a lot of I was gonna save this for further in. We still have like a couple more stories to get through as well. But you know what? Fuck it. This is gonna be a longer episode. There's no Leafs games until tomorrow, but it's also we're recording this earlier than we usually would on a Monday. So when I was in grade 5, somehow through connections of one of the kids, I was in my elementary school choir, which was like the thing you did in elementary school, because if you weren't in elementary school choir, you had no friends to play with at recess. So
True.
you did it. And so there was a kid in the choir whose mom worked for Rogers. And if you don't know who, one of the many sports teams, including the Leafs, that Rogers Corporation owns, is the Toronto Blue Jays, and which are the baseball team in Toronto, obviously. And so my elementary school choir got to sing the national anthem at a Blue Jays. I believe it was also the Yankees as well. It was like 2013 Blue Jays game, which, if you know anything about the Toronto Blue Jays in that time period, they were bad. So no one was there. But the anthem is something that's a part of the national broadcast. It gets shown on TV. But the video that exists on the internet is one of the other parents of another kid in the choir taking a video of us out in center field singing the national anthem. And that video exists on YouTube. If someone DMs the show's Twitter, like if someone manages to find that video, again, it would require knowing what elementary school I went to, which I'm not going to share that information.
No.
But if someone finds that video, I will be very, very impressed. I will also be very, very scared that you know where I live. But yeah, so that is a video that exists out there. There's like 10-year-old me, no glasses, a lot more hope for the world, a lot more hope in the Toronto Blue Jays, because I don't think and the Toronto Blue Jays, well, also for the Leafs as well, because this was like 2013, but this was like before my heart was broken. Like I think this was, I can't remember exact. I think it was probably after. So I was probably heartbroken, mildly depressed over watching Game 7 versus Boston. But yeah. Yeah, so that was the peak of my life. I peaked when I was 10 years old, got to sing the national. So that's why that's why I feel like I have an opinion on anthem singers, because I've been there. So I feel like I can speak on if they're good or not. We were good. I'm going to say that. We were actually good because we could actually hit the notes that exist in Star Spangled Banner. And also we knew all the words to O Canada in French and in English, because we were just overachievers. I also went to a French immersion school, so I can speak French fluently. But yeah, that's my big achievement there. Fun little fact of Emma lore that you guys can have fun with. So moving on, though, we do have some fun stories though to end off the episode. I feel like that was everything we wanted to cover as well. Yeah. Oh yeah, you just have some fun stories, right?
Yeah, oh my god, my laptop's having a crisis. 1 second. It started just playing every single YouTube video I've got open. And I
hate when it does that.
It's a massive panic of just like background noise that I have on. I had a tweet.
Okay, alrighty.
There was a tweet. Where's it gone? Oh, I hate the fact that I send so many tweets, because then I can never find the ones I want.
Well, I have one of them was the Marley's Fights Cancer Night.
Yeah, that's...
Or did you want to do the other thing first? The bar down one. That one was fairly recent. I sent that recently.
You know, it's a Sabres tweet, and I can't find it. Fuck.
No,
Zach Benson, second line.
The Sabres have 9 players with their active roster under the age of 23.
Yes, the little baby team. I love them for that. Like, we all know I have just a deep love for baby teams. And I just think...
Yeah.
The entire Sabres roster can just, get in my pocket right now.
Well, that also means it's very helpful for the team in the future as well.
Like, they've got...
Yeah,
I mean, you've got
players that are only going to continue to get better. You know, Dylan Cousins, Peyton Krebs, Devin Levi, Ryan Johnson, Owen Power, JJ Paterka, Isaac Rosen, Jiri Kulich, and Zach Benson. I just listed off that whole list. But yeah, under the age of 23. That's cool.
cheeky
And I feel
little
like there's also like
Al.
a couple guys, like I think Tage Thompson is like young. No, he's not. He's deceptively. I keep thinking that he's younger than he actually is. He's 26.
It's like the opposite of Jeff Skinner.
Yeah. I keep thinking he's younger than he actually is. Well, Jeff Skinner, I also think he's younger than he actually is. And that man's like 30. Doesn't look it.
Yeah, I still don't believe that he's 30. He's not. He's just not.
No.
Like
No, anyways. Yeah, sorry, I just want to keep us rolling so we don't run too long today. Marlies, do you want to talk about the Marlies first?
Yeah.
And their Hockey Fights Cancer Night?
Yeah. I love the Marlies. I love the Marlies so much. And their Hockey Fights Cancer Night, I did have to be right, because they had like the wall of cards where people who were watching, people who went to the game could write who they were fighting for, and all the cards went up onto the wall, and it was very emotional, because I was like, oh, like I was like,
yeah.
I love the Marlies for that. And then they had like the video of the players being like, this is who I'm fighting for, and I love the Marlies. I love Hockey Fights Cancer Nights. It was a good game. Obviously I can't actually watch the game, so I just have to follow the live tweets. It was a good game, not the best. It was a 4-3 overtime loss, because
Familiar with the concept.
yeah, Toronto hockey teams
Been there, done that.
a good overtime loss. But yeah, it's just a little like feel good sort of story, because it's the wall of cards. That really got me, because I was just like, that's what you want to see from a hockey team. Like, you want to see them like doing something like that and interacting with the people who were there to actually watch. And it was just like, I love them.
Yeah. Also as well, you had there's another story as well, because we are your number one source of all Elite League things going on as well, that you wanted to talk about with Belfast and their goaltending. It's just like your face light up as you were trying to figure out what I was talking about.
I'm just
and
like,
I didn't want to say exactly what it was, because I was like, no, you could probably say it better than I could. And also because if I said soccer again,
end of the podcast.
The podcast would end at 3 episodes.
It's gone. Where is the tweet?
It is a little bit up as well. I can resend it in if you want.
That would be great, because I
have it right in front of me as well. Yeah. Blah 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 blah. There we go. Podcast tweets. It's fine. I can do some fun little funky editing with this later and cut this all out. Or will I not? I said I was gonna cut out the part from last episode, and then I didn't, and then I had Simon.
So Peter Czech. I'm not good at pronouncing names.
Yeah. He's a Czech though. He is Czech.
Yeah.
He is.
There we go. He was a very famous football player, goalkeeper. I don't know, football player.
He was a goalkeeper, yes. Soccer for that. We're talking about soccer for all you North Americans, because I looked at the stats. That's where our primary audience is.
Yeah, and damn it, I need to get my little British squad, my little British group of people. I need to just like listen. Yeah, he made
the episode like 7 times.
Yeah, I'll just be like, fucking watch this if you live in England. I don't care if you don't watch hockey. Just listen to it. It's me chatting shit for a while. Yeah, he made his goaltending debut for the Belfast Giants, which I enjoy watching the Giants. I also enjoy watching Manchester beat the Giants. And it's always fun when Manchester play Belfast, because one of my housemates is from Belfast. So we always have a lovely little, like, last time when Belfast beat Manchester, she was like, oh, and then now I got one back because they won last time. Peter Cech made his goaltending debut for the Belfast Giants at age 41, and fucking good for him.
Peepa.
Yeah,
a little Czech Peepa. He's that makes him older than Mark Giordano. Get him across the ocean. Hey, Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, if the Oilers are looking for a new goalie, fucking hell, have I got someone for you? But
the best part about that is that there's like you can check the replies of the Bar Down tweet, and I'm pretty sure there are a couple people who are like maybe it's the original tweet by the Elite Ice Hockey League, like the Elite League, that are like adding the Edmonton Oilers, which is what happens every time there's like a free like
every time
a free goaltender that pops up that like does something semi-impressive. People are like, hey, Edmonton, check this out. The only team we did not curse, though, that we've talked about so far on the show has been the Oilers. They've turned over a new leaf. So
yeah, it's a miracle.
A real miracle. They've hit their stride.
He made his professional debut. I think he was present at the Manchester game I went to.
And he just didn't go in?
Yeah, I think he was backing up, I believe. Because he's very tall, and there was a very tall goalie. But we got me and Cal went to watch them, and we got there very late. We got there very close to puck drop, so we didn't see much of warm-ups, so I couldn't see who was also there. But I'm very sure that he was sat on the bench, because I saw someone tall. I'm assuming it was him. So that was cool. I was in the same room. We were in the same room, which is pretty cool. And it's a small rink as well, Manchester.
Yeah, I've seen the pictures.
It's like 1,600, I think, which is, I just want to say, the massive, like, the difference in the size of, like, where all the Elite League teams play is insane. Like, I think Sheffield has, like, a capacity of, like, 8,000, I think. So you've got, like, all the way from, like, 8,000 to, there might be some bigger. I'm not massively clued up on where all the other teams are playing in their capacities. And then you go all the way down to, like, Manchester, who just play just an ice rink, just as you do. Which, fun fact, it's also the rink that my university's hockey team plays at, which is cool. But yeah, just my little weekly Elite League roundup. That was just some fun news. There we go.
All right. Right away, right off the top, I got it set up. We're recording right now. Okay, so we just finished recording, and we were sitting here still on Teams, sitting and talking shit, and we've got a lovely notification from the Minnesota Wild saying that Dave Evanson and Bob Woods have been relieved of their coaching duties. More from NHL.com. We can read a fun little article from the NHL.com. Minnesota Wild president of hockey operations and general manager Bill Guerin today announced that head coach and assistant coach, so Dave Evanson and then assistant coach Bob Woods, have been relieved of their coaching duty. There's a lovely quote that says, Dean did an excellent job during his tenure with the Minnesota Wild, especially as head coach of our team. I'm very thankful for his hard work and dedication to our organization. I would also like to thank Bob for his hard work during this time as an assistant coach with the Wild. Hold on. Just like for like stats purposes, the Minnesota Wild through 19 games have a record of 5-10-4 with 14 points. So they're not doing great. They're like second last in the Central. But for like, cause like myself, I'm wondering, hey, when do the Wild play another game? Fucking tomorrow. They play tomorrow against the Blues. Jeez. So I'm sure we'll find out very, very soon, within probably the next 24 hours, who will be taking over coaching. Minnesota Wild. There's gotta be someone, and there's not a fucking Jay Woodcroft.
Please.
Because
Oh my God.
who else is it gonna be? Who else is it gonna be? Who else is it going to be? Because like, if you want someone with NHL, it's fucking
Hey, I'm looking for a job. What?
Jay Woodcroft or Mike Babcock.
No. Oh my God! Don't even say that. Oh
I'm
my
like,
God.
no, you can't do not what the young guys that team has. No, you can't do that to Brock Faber and the Deweys.
Oh, don't even. Oh, poor Brock. No.
Brock Faber and the Deweys.
You can't.
That's a really cool band name, Brock Faber and the Deweys. Like for like an indie like folk band.
If hockey doesn't work out. Oh, John Hines.
There you go. What?
Elliot Friedman.
Elliot.
Word is that John Hines will be taking over as Minnesota's next coach.
How do you spell his name? I'm trying to Google him.
ELLIOTTE.
E. Oh, what did you? Sorry, E.
Double TE.
Oh, not Elliot, the coach.
Well, you say.
No, I know how to spell Elliot Friedman's name. Jesus.
Well,
James.
How do I know? John Hynes.
Hynes. John Hines. Okay, here we go. Oh, he's bald. Oh, he used to work for. Oh.
What?
Oh. Okay, so former coach of the New Jersey Devils.
Ooh.
And Nashville Predator. Okay, and yeah, he coached the Predators last year. I thought he was still working for the Predators. There was like a split second where I was like, holy shit, he worked for the holy shit, they stole him from the Predators. But no, he was fired at the end of last season. But yeah, he's bald. Yeah, coached the New Jersey Devils, replacing Scott Stevens and Adam Oates. He became the youngest head coach in the NHL for the 2015-2016 season on April 5th, 2018. Hines coached the Devils to their first playoff appearance since the 2011-2012 season when they defeated the Toronto Maple Leafs. Lovely. However, they lost in the first. Like, we're not even talking about the Leafs, right? Why are they here? However, they lost in the first round to the Tampa Bay Lightning in 5 games on January 3rd, 2019. Hines signed a multi-year contract extension with the Devils. On December 3rd, 2019, he was fired by the Devils and replaced by assistant coach Alan Nesren. Lovely. On January 7th, 2020, Hines was named as head coach of the Nashville Predators, replacing Peter Laviolette, who is currently the head coach for the Rangers. Hines was fired on May 30th, 2023, after parts of 4 seasons in Nashville. So he was fired by both jobs.
Yay.
Interesting. And now he's taking over the job of someone who was fired. But yeah, so he has over his entire NHL career, he has 4 playoffs appearances, lost in the first round, lost in the qualifying round, and he hasn't made it past the first round.
Oh, who does that remind me of?
Sheldon Keefe prior to last season.
Oh,
sorry.
But yeah,
Sheldon.
Breaking news, I am not the new coach of the Minnesota Wild.
Unfortunately, we are not being hired as the coaches. I hate to break it to you guys.
They're lost.
Yeah, they're lost for sure. But yeah, I'm trying to think. If he has a winning record, winning record. Yeah, well, sometimes he has a winning record with his team. But yeah, I again, coaches to me are like, you know, it's hard for me to like. Oh wait, Dean Evanson was hot.
What?
Hold on. he kind of is. Sorry, I just saw a tweet that was like that was just dark day for the hottest coach in the NHL. But yeah, Rip Creed from The Office. Yeah, Minnesota has made a coaching change. Elliot Friedman. Is there any updates as well? Word is okay. So I like to take Elliot Friedman's word as gospel. Like if he tweets something, it's usually right. It's right. So
Yeah.
Congratulations to John Hines. You and your shiny bald head will be taking on the Minnesota roster, and we'll be playing against the Blues at 8 p.m. tomorrow. So again, it's like, yeah, I mean, I guess because it's starting at 8 and not 7, I guess you can watch part of that game during the intermissions of the Leafs game. That's probably what I'll end up doing because guess whose game is not a national broadcast tomorrow? The Leafs. So it means I have to watch. It's difficult. It's more difficult for me to watch, which is just annoying. Like it's really annoying. Anyways, I'm just salty about the fact that it's difficult to watch hockey games if you do not live in the same broadcast region. Specifically in Canada, if you live in the same if you do not live in the same broadcast region of the team you want to watch, it makes it difficult. And I like complaining. But yeah, so fun little bonus to add on to the end of this episode, I guess.
Yeah.
That I don't want to say that comes with the show, but I do like say like Minnesota has been not fulfilling their potential that they have as a team. Like they haven't been playing great. And you look at that roster. You look at that roster and you see a lot of hope. Like you have Kirill Kaprizov, you have now like Garrett Spurgeon, Marcus Foligno. I'm trying to think of who else on that line is like, this sounds really bad, is good, but like and then you also have a couple of like Matt Zuccarello, Joel Eriksson Ek, like some really good guys, and then you also have a lot of like, you know, young guys who you're like, ooh, I'd like to see them, you know, be really good, you know.
Yeah.
The Deweys, Faber, Marco Rossi, who else is young? And I'm not just looking at like old pictures of them. I'm like trying to figure out like who is actually young and who's just like Google like picture when they come up on Google. It's like just their like
them from 10 years ago.
Day. Yeah, them from like 10 years ago, like their draft day picture or something like that. Trying to figure that out. Yeah, but yeah, so again, we'll see how this goes. I mean, that's our second coaching change of the season.
Whew.
And it's not even December yet. So, I mean, second coaching change during the season. This is the third coach to be fired for this season. One coach didn't even make it to camp. So that's what happens when you want to go through players' phones. Not to name names.
I wonder who that could be.
I wonder. I do, however, love the the 30 seconds of where we were like, maybe Jay Woodcroft is the new coach for them.
We had 30 seconds of.
We had 30 seconds of like of speculation, and then it was.
And then Elliot comes to our rescue.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if he's confirmed anything soon. There has been no confirmation. I feel like this is going to be an announcement for like tomorrow morning. So we're not going to just like sit here and refresh tweets. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, oh, here we go. Yeah, this Michael Russo had a fun little breaking tweet. So I feel like we can all but confirm that. Alrighty. Well, that wraps it up for this episode. I feel like, you know, we've discussed everything. We've talked about everything. We will, you know, see how the Leafs play on Tuesday and see how the rest of the league does in other aspects of their various games that are going on. Yeah, so again, thank you again for listening if you've made it this far. It's been fun as always. Just again, I'm Emma. I'm always joined by Marcie. This is From the Fourth Line. You can follow us on Twitter at From the Fourth Line. You can follow both of us respectively at PairB1 and Marcie at 60 Leafs on Twitter. We're on YouTube as well. Just search From the Fourth Line. I think you should find us fairly easily, or you can search the episode name that we put our episodes on. Won't be right away when we post the show to Spotify. We'll be probably a little bit later, but we'll be up there. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday.
Goodbye.
Bye.